What is your idea of a healthy relationship?
Oh, help me see.
Help me see.
Healthy,
I don't know what you just said.
healthy relationship. That's my opinion.
In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Y'all gonna leave Mama Shore
Being
asshole.
able to communicate,
Right?
not
Hold
just
up.
one way, but seeing another person's way.
Wait, what was the last thing you said, Mama Cheryl?
Shoot, Carl, I'm talking on TV.
She said I'm talking on TV.
Meditate, Mike.
Communication,
Yeah.
not just seeing one way,
Uh,
but seeing both ways, trying to figure out if
Okay.
you're going to be able to work it out. And then I said, honestly,
what's your?
trust.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I told you I was on TV, you can't talk.
You're right. You're right. That was my fault.
Okay. All right. Healthy relationship. Healthy relationship for me is
You can wait there.
loving. Exactly. Loving.
I had an index card.
I got something for you. No. Loving unconditionally.
I remember saying it. I remember just doing a whole bunch of sweet nothings, writing Usher lyrics and letters to her, writing Heat Wave lyrics to her. I was, like I said, I was pulling out all the stops, man. Simp is what a super.
Roll me, Mac.
What was your most embarrassing relationship moment? My most embarrassing relationship moment would probably be trying to impress. Yeah, trying to impress. So this girl that I put on a fucking pedestal, Miami days. I was nervous as shit on the inside, but outside I was trying to be like, kind of like Martin was with Gina's parents on that episode, but a little bit more arrogant, if you will. It just wasn't natural. I mean, part of it was like, I said how I felt, I just said it in a way that was like, okay, guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside looking in, I'm sure for them, like, okay, I get it. You don't care if we like you or not. Because you know how, like, when you meet, for some folks, when they meet, like, the ladies' support system, and, the whole thing, well, I wasn't sure if I was going to like you, or as if they're more important than you are. You know what I mean? And, like, for me, I said it in front of all of them. I was like, I really don't care whether you like me You like me? Hell, even her. Like, I even pointed to the damn girl and said, I don't care if you like me. You know what I mean? I don't even know what I was doing too much. You know what I'm saying? But I was just doing too much to show that I was not shaken by them and their unit. You know what I mean? And it led to a debate. We'll call it that. It led to a debate between me and that particular young lady at the time, outside on the street in Fort Lauderdale. You know what I'm saying? I think we were doing like a bar crawl or some shit like that. Yeah. But it was stupid on my part. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just totally, it was unnecessary. It was unnecessary to deliver it in the way that I did. I could have said the same thing, but delivered it differently. Like, truthfully, I mean, looking back at it, I can say to them, like, I appreciate you guys protecting, you know what I'm saying, like your sister, your friend, whatever, however you want to refer to her as. But quite frankly, the only voice that I value right now within this confinement of a relationship is hers. So if she's into me, great. I mean, I think that's great that you guys think I'm cool enough you guys approve of me for your own standards of what you deem a significant other to be for your friend. But it really doesn't, it's not gonna change anything if you didn't. That's what I would say looking back at it. But yeah, it was a long drawn out fight. We learned how we responded to conflict in the midst of our inner children coming out. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. A lot of tantrums and shutdowns and us taking turns who was going to be the parent to the other. And it was just, it's stupid. It literally was just, like I said, just being extra, as we say you doing too much. Or as one of my best friends from Homestead would say, team too much. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Teresa. But like, just doing entirely too fucking much to try to prove that you weren't shaken by their threats, if you will. But I mean, I look at it as an embarrassment because we were out there in the middle of the street arguing. And we looked, from afar, we looked like fools because you can't tell who was who. Just tantrums being thrown, and it was just unnecessary. On my part, definitely on her part. It was dumb. Like I said, it was dumb. It was blown out of proportion. Number one, as far as like what I did, and then I think that there was I think my delivery offended my what would be my then girlfriend soon enough. But at the time, we was just like dating, if you will. But it really, I was like, man, because I didn't want to piss her off. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I was like, I practically worship the ground you walk on. So you being upset is fucking with me. That's where I was then. That's how I looked at relationships when I was putting women on pedestals. Not taking myself into account for my needs, my desires, my wants, and stuff like that, as if I'm not as human as her. And we do that sometimes, men and women in a relationship. We have this desire for someone, and we look to them as if they're more human than we are, and we're no more human than each other. You know what I mean? But you still get that butterfly feeling, and that's what I had. I had the butterfly feeling, like schoolboy shit. It was a moment. Literally was just a moment. There's a lot more moments, as far as arguments go, that would await for us in the future. But I believe that's ultimately why I did not go on, for a long-term standpoint. But, oh yeah, more me and my ego. So I'm dating this young lady in the Air Force, and I'm at the gym. Sure enough, man, like, I don't know what it is, but when I look back at myself, me in a relationship is a scary person. I think it's that fear of abandonment stuff. So I tend to act out. I was I don't know. I don't know what I was being arrogant about. Just trying to talk to my then girlfriend, her best friend. I think somebody else over here. My Uncle Tracy. Shit, and I said his name on the thing. Well, I love you, Uncle Tracy. You probably don't remember it, but yeah, my uncle was there, and I don't know. I just said something that was just downright boyish. You know what I'm saying? 20, maybe. I'm probably all of, I don't know, maybe 20 years old, and I'm just, I'm just thinking I'm hot shit, and just saying wild stuff in front of my girl. And I look at it as embarrassing because of how I've matured since then. I'm like, I really don't believe I said that shit. It's like looking at your old posts on Facebook and you're like, I don't believe I put this validational shit up here. Like trying to get likes or whatever it was, you know what I mean? Or looking back, like if I ever find my MySpace page, my profile pictures with nothing but a shirtless 20-year-old thinking he got abs and shit, which I did a little bit, just a little bit, but hat on backwards, just knew I was gonna be on motherfucking I don't know, Men's Health or whatever magazine, Sports Illustrated, just trying to be validated, man, trying to find love in various forms, viewing love as attention, that is. But yeah, I mean, if you look, I mean, if you, I say look, now you listen to the stories that I just shared, and I would call them beta tales. Yes, these are beta tales. And I look at those moments, and I was young. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, so I was acting out of fear. See, you know, the loudest person in the room is the weakest person in the room, right? American Gangster. And I wasn't secure at all. None of my actions were secure. A secure person is quiet. You know what I'm saying? They understand that they just are. They don't have to prove anything to anybody. They just are. They operate more from the soul than they operate from the ego. And in those moments, my ego was on stage and king of the stage, for that matter. I hid behind my ego, which is what I tend to do when I get afraid, which I'm sure other people do too. But it's trusting God and his universe, and then trusting yourself, you know, that you're right where you're supposed to be. You know, you're fine just the way you are, loving yourself unconditionally. How you treat others is how you treat yourself. So like, if I'm so critical and judgmental of others, you can imagine what I'm doing to myself, right? So it's like truly looking back at that person and learning to love them now. Now, like I said, I still find it embarrassing, if you will, but learning to accept that part of me, because I don't get present day me without that part of me. You know what I'm saying? The shit that was done, the things that I wasn't so proud of, the not so cool moments that I thought I was, you know what I'm saying, hot shit or Mr. Get Bad, whatever you want to call it. But it's part of growth, right? It's literally just part of growth. And forever grateful for going through all that bullshit, to be able to tell you guys, maybe you guys get a few laughs out of it, or just like, I remember doing that dumb shit too. Just being able to relate to it. But yeah, that to me is my most embarrassing relationship moments.
Hey, what up, everybody? Yeah, do me a favor real quick. Just hit like, subscribe, and of course, comment if you have anything, you know, obviously to mention about this.
What is the first time you said I love you to somebody in your life other than family? Okay, so I want to start from the elementary school play days. Because I'm sure I used that shit thinking that's what you're supposed to say, because that's back when you said things based off of what you thought you were supposed to say, based off of what Disney programmed us dumbass beta males to be. But saying what you mean and meaning what you say will get you a hell of a lot further than trying to say some shit that you ain't really prepared for, and you being passive aggressive about and all of that. But I don't put this on 7-year-old Rome. But in Lexington Park, in the apartments, I was talking to this young lady, hood chick by the way. You know, she was a little chunky, but no, I don't know. I think I just liked the attitude. I was attracted to a woman's attitude back then, as far as like the ability to draw attention to yourself. I thought that was attractive probably from age 7 till about age 19. Yes, from about 19. From 7 to about age 19, I really did think that the loud girl in school was attractive, you know. But in this situation, the 7-year-old me, and I forget her name, but she used to have barrettes in her hair. Wasn't that attractive at all. I just knew she was my girlfriend. And, you know, I don't think we did much. She might have kissed me on the cheek or some shit like that. I know one time, we were outside. And I don't know why I said it, but we just said it. We both did. You know what the fuck that means, you know what I'm saying? But I just remember from my photographic memory, that's the first time I told a girl that I loved them, you know? And I'll say something more with feeling. With more feeling, probably 8th grade. Yeah. 8th grade, my 8th grade then girlfriend. At the time, I said it. Actually, I believe I meant it. I might not know what it means as far as like what it truly means to love somebody, like the crust of a motherfucker, like what I know now, like to love somebody unconditionally. But when I said it to her, I mean, I meant it. I was looking for love, man. I was trying to find nurturing love, because I didn't feel like I had it in the home. You know what I'm saying? As far as affection, you know, the physical love. I was looking for that. I was looking for physical affection and emotional connection and shit like that. So ran across me and gave me a hug and smiled at me. I might have said it. Definitely was a what I know now to be is called a hopeless romantic or hopeful romantic. You know what I'm saying? But I said it, and you know, I was riding the what they call the honeymoon phase. You know, when all those endorphins and shit come out when you get around this person, and it's different. You know, we're little kids. There's no factors. There's no resources. Don't matter yet in this equation. When having a girlfriend and having a boyfriend, you know, like in 8th grade, everybody's got the same situations. You might have been able to stay up long on the phone than me, but that's about it. But I think it was the opposite way. I think, she had to get off the phone by 10. I think 10 was her curfew, and that was even on weekends. So I think for me it's like 12, 11, probably 11. I say 11. But I remember saying it. I remember just doing a whole bunch of sweet nothings, writing Usher lyrics and letters to her, writing Heat Wave lyrics to her. I was, like I said, I was pulling out all the stops, man. Simp is what a super simp. Just call it that. A super simp is what was going on. But you know, I can laugh at it. One day somebody will play it in a movie. You know, when they do the story like my biopic or whatever. You know, I'll be sure to have that thing acted out. But I do remember it was a back and forth thing. You know, like she was talking to one guy. I kind of lured her, you know what I'm saying, like to talk to me, you know, running my little 8th grade game. And, you know, we was talking for a little bit. And I think I probably smothered the shit out of her because, like I said, I was looking for my mother. And that motherfucker ended up going back with the guy I pulled her from. And I remember being so depressed in my room and listening to Enter the Drew by Drew Hill. And ran that fucker down, bro. Sitting there in the dark, just sad about this young lady that I lost. But yeah, I mean, essentially that's the first time like I said it, and I thought I knew. I mean, I definitely meant a lot more than 7-year-old me. You know what I'm saying, when I said it, but it was puppy love shit. You know what I'm saying, straight puppy love stuff. And I look at, I'm gonna go from my, yeah, we'll tap into the 20s, right? A situation where the first time I said that, and I granted, I did not know what love was to the degree of which I know now, but definitely a lot more conscious of what it meant to love somebody. We'll say that. And I said it to like again, back to that Air Force girlfriend. There was nothing that I would not do for this individual. Like you talk like TV show bullshit, romantic comedy, because I thought that's what you were supposed to do as a man. You know what I'm saying? Chasing. I was chasing, if you will. And the number one rule about chasing, if you're chasing, that means it's running away from you. So only burning genuine desire, fellas. Only burning genuine desire when it comes to that. So, but lesson learned. But I just was, I damn sure meant it. I damn sure felt it, that's for sure. It was much needed. It was the necessary pain, right? And it was so necessary so that I could grow from it. And I just, I was stubborn. I realized a lot of my trauma would come out when I would get so close to a young lady. Unhealed parts from childhood resurface, if you will, and they get projected onto someone who has nothing to do with it. Regardless of what she might be doing to me, because even then, nothing she does is about me. It's about whatever she's going through herself, her own fears, her own insecurities, and feeling like she's not good enough to be with this individual because of this person treating them like this. You know what I'm saying? And it happens, man. It happens. But I was stubborn. Oh, I was so fucking stubborn, man. I would have, yeah. I all the shit you know see, and like I said, in those movies, like I said, the romantic movies, whatever, Hitch, I don't fucking know, The Notebook, any of that shit. There was a lot of that in me, you know, just willing to chase. And it fell on deaf ears, if you will, because this individual did not value me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and didn't know how to. Didn't know how to value herself, for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, young, we're just trying to figure this shit out, right? And trying to get so deep so soon, versus taking your time to date yourself, and then knowing what you like and don't like, so that when you see what you don't like, personality traits, you know how to be with that. And I was controlling out of fear. So fear of abandonment. So it's like understanding that person is not to be controlled. Like macho man, Elizabeth keeping her in the locker room while he out doing matches crazy. Nothing that crazy, but just that fear of losing someone that you believe you love. But the secret of that I'm learning and I'm teaching myself is that there's no love in fear, and there's no fear in love. It's like, if you love something, you have to let it fucking go. Like, let go of the control that you're trying to have on it. Let it be free. Beloved unconditionally. Whatever a person does is what they want to do. Why not see what that person wants to do? It may not be what your expectation is in your mind of that person, but you get to see what they want to do, so then you can move from there, right? And, lessons learned. Like I said, man, desire and aversion will present to you a type of pain that sometimes you're not necessarily ready for, but it was necessary. So, and that's, like I said, a necessary pain of that, because in desire, it's like you want something to happen, and you don't want, and when that thing doesn't happen, you feel suffering. Aversion, obviously, is like when you don't want something to happen and it ends up happening, and instead of just accepting it as it is. So I think that's the hard part, especially like with me and family, it's like accepting things as they are, and that this is just what it is, and it might not be what you want, but it's just how it is. And it takes time to accept that. Still working at that shit, but nevertheless, learning to love unconditionally in many ways. But I mean, yeah, I want to say those times. Those are the times that I've said, I love you outside of family, and it's being vulnerable comes with a cost. You know what I'm saying? And especially for us men, because it's not necessarily socially accepted for us to be so expressive, if you will, be so emotional. You can express your emotions, but it must be in a masculine way, or you will be looked at and treated differently from the people that you're telling it to in an emotional fashion. This is just the way it is, man. But what can I say? Learned a lot from those things, and it helped make me who I am today. What's one thing that annoys you the most? The one thing that annoys me the most, victimhood. When you're in conversations with people and they make themselves out to be like the victim, like to an extreme degree, to where you're not even able to have a conversation without a pity party or a tantrum, if you will. I think that's probably one of the most annoying things, and it was probably wild, because I don't care for it, because it's probably reflecting a portion of a part of my life that I haven't dealt with yet. You know what I mean? About myself. Maybe sometimes where I play victim, if you will. But that's one thing I would say that's definitely I find to be annoying, and me being the hypocrite about it, because more than likely it's something that I've done too. And so that's the one thing that I would say that I find to be most annoying, is the individual that plays like the victim, and again, to make it seem like the world revolves around them, and just being, you know, a kid, essentially acting like a child, and then looking for somebody to parent you, and you're just as grown as I am, you know what I mean? But you know, I think it's just recognizing, one, being able to look at it, to see that you are part of the issue yourself. When you see that you are being a victim, that's number one, admitting that, because you very well just may be expressing your emotions, like you believe you're just expressing your feelings, but how you're expressing your feelings may be from that of the victim versus that of someone who's just making an observation about something. And but a lot of us I believe a lot of us tend to talk in conversations like we're victims. And I don't believe that. I don't believe we're victims. You know, I mean, well, you can only be the victim once, and after that, you're a volunteer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we keep hearing the same. All of us that keep hearing the same old stories and shit from you. Like again, stories about your parents. I've definitely had my fair share of saying those. Stories about not being good enough. The person, you know, your relationships all turn out the same way. What's the common denominator? It's your ass. But like being able to just recognize the growth within yourself and being like, you know what, I'm part of the problem, and I got to do my part in trying to enhance that problem. But I would say one of the most annoying things, one thing that annoys me the most is when we play victim to our own self-sabotage. Yeah, that's it. When we're the ones that are when we're part of the problem, and then we want to play victim. That's one of the things that annoys the shit out of me. What is the story from your life that represents the essence of who you are? Ooh, a story from my life that represents the essence of who I am. I mean, take anytime there's been a situation where I've had the chance to be in a conversation with someone and them not knowing me from a can of paint, probably not even 10 minutes ago, and able to feel comfortable enough to share their story with me and look at it from a different perspective that helped them heal. I believe that's probably would be like the best description to me. That would, I would say, define like who I am, because our story helps us heal. And it's really just about how we're looking at it. You know, it's not the event itself, it's our perception of the event that tends to be the kicker, the thing that shapes the way we feel about the situation. That generally makes up how we feel about the situation. And I love having those conversations with strangers. Of course, the people that I value and all that stuff, whenever they're able to open up and share their story with me. But like to be in be at the bar, be on a plane or anywhere at work. I met you just, doing whatever I had to do at work. And then we get into a conversation and then you end up telling me about how things are between you and your child, or you and the mother and your child, you and the father, your child, whatever it is. And you find yourself being able to look at the situation differently than you did when you first came in here. That to me, I would say, is like represents the essence of what I believe I am. And even though that's it's a fluent thing, like I'm changing, I would say I'm changing every day. But those, like I said, those type of stories, man, when your story can relate to theirs, man. So it's like none of us, a lot of us didn't see each other, know each other growing up, but we have similar experiences. And the question is, why is that, right? And it boils down to, again, a form of studying psychology, human behaviors, of course, but patterns, behavioral patterns that, it's like there's only so many combinations that come with the things that we do. When you are raised by a narcissistic parent, when you are raised without a parent, when you're raised with two parents that are overbearing, when you were raised by a parent or guardian that tore you down, when you never heard "I love you" from a parent, when you never received a hug from a parent, these things shape how we want to be loved in the world, essentially, man. Or it toughens us up. It makes us create this fucking wall around us, and we're not gonna let you get in. And then we make the mistake of like letting somebody in per se, and then that person shows us that they're human, and then we feel fucked up because we opened up to them. Me opening up to them had nothing to do with them. It was more about my trust in me. You know what I mean? Being able to love unconditionally, right? But obviously, if you know that this individual is kind of wild and you need to kind of keep your ass away from them. But the courage that it took for you to open up was all in your doing. And it's like you finding courage within yourself to bare your soul. No one owes you anything for sharing yourself to them. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a choice you made. I don't even care if they tried to pry it out of you. It was a choice that you made to do it, and that's okay. And that's really all you need. The only love you can control is the love that you give. And so me opening up in hopes of getting that other person to open up is me putting my happiness in that person's hand. And I've done it. I've done it many times, man. And again, lessons. Yeah, I mean, you learn lessons about life, and thinking that this person is going to fix everything you felt that your family fucked up in your life. Perception. Again, it's all perspective, you know what I'm saying? But they're just as human as your parents. Remove the labels. Remove mommy, remove daddy, brother, sister, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Dog too. But like, they're human. And outside the dog. But you remove those labels and you'll see these people were acting out of fear. And they were filled with pain. And behind pain, it tends to have fear, And pain gets filled up in the cup, it topples over, so the pain had to go somewhere. And it's like forgiving them for what they didn't know. It's a tough bitch to swallow. And when you see it and you see that they were acting out of fear, they were acting out of lack of love for self, and so many different things that were going on in their mind that led them to making that decision to say what they said to you, to do what they did to you, and if you can see it from their perspective, you may maybe gain understanding as to why they've done it. Doesn't justify what they did to you, to us. But you can understand why an individual would do that after being filled up with so much pain on the inside. I say all that to say, whenever I'm able to share like my own experiences with people around me, whether, like energy is everything to me, right? And some people can just feel that level of comfort to share their story without judgment. And to me, that is the ultimate compliment in this life, to be able to do that, to trust to share their story without being judged for whatever it is. Because we all got a story, right? But I mean, that to me represents the essence of what I mean, as far as what I would like to be, you know, what I consider myself to be. And because I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm no saint. I'm no saint. I'm just as flawed as anybody else. I like to get out in front of it and, you know, just go ahead and take my licks for being the flawed individual that I am. But I do work at trying to love myself better every day, learning to love myself unconditionally in many ways, getting out of your own head, remembering how you talk to yourself is not how you would talk to a friend. So become your friend, right? But like I said, those moments where I get to have those conversations with people, and you know, everybody is able to share their perspective. No one's trying to show right or wrong or nothing like that. We literally just give our perspective on a situation. Conversation just keeps going. Before you know, time is gone. You know, you ran out of time. It's time to go home and close out your tab, or gotta go home from work, whatever it is. But you get to understand humans a little bit better, right? It teaches you to not judge really anybody for that matter. If you understand, you wouldn't judge, and if you judge, you wouldn't understand. I believe that's like the quote that sticks out to me a lot of times. So I do my best to not to judge. You know, I may make observations about things, but I don't feel like you should be shamed because I recognize this observation in you. It's just something you may not have recognized in yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's about growth here, man. It's really just about growth. And I have to be very mindful to not project me onto others, because not everybody wants to grow to the obsession in which I believe that too much of a good thing is a bad thing type thing. So it's like learning to find that balance in being oneself. Remember to be human and not just being so hard on yourself. But again, that's a trauma response of feeling like you weren't good enough. So me and my ego have to have a little chit chat from time to time, and I have to sit with the soul. And when I do, I feel, you know, it's like a hell of a lot better. So like, yeah, I say grateful for those moments when they do come up. Accepting things as they are, more Fati as much as possible. You know, lover of fate. Accept things as they are, not what you want them to be. Keeping in mind of the whole, my motto: no entitlement, no expectations, and no ego. And to just, take things from what they are. But to quote the great Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. Who has the best marriage you've seen up close? I mean, outside looking in. The best marriage that I personally have seen up close, I want to say I just met them. Yeah. It was when we went to Jamaica for one of my brothers from high school, his wedding. You know, we went to Jamaica. And it was this older white couple, probably like in their 70s, maybe, I don't know, 70s, 80s. But I'm sitting out there reading by the hot tub, and I'm seeing my man. He got so much energy, man. And, you know, she's just out there reading her book too. We actually had a conversation about books, but the way that he just was just in awe of her, you know what I'm saying? And again, she's still a schoolgirl about it, and they probably been out of school at least 50 damn years. But it was cool to see that. Again, I still feel for you the same way I did when I saw you back in 1961 or 2, whatever their I remember this story being like that, and I think he asked her to dance or something like that, but he was still all over her. You know what I'm saying? And she was receptive to it. But to me, I think that just they got kids and stuff like that. But every year, apparently, that's an annual thing they do. They go to that particular resort and they just celebrate each other. You know what I mean? So like I said, I don't know them, but outside looking in, I've never, like, that energy, you know what I'm saying? The way they just felt about one another. It was, you could feel how genuine it was. That I want to say on both sides. Like, she just looked after him. Don't get me wrong. If we talking frame, yes, she had the frame. She definitely had the frame. But he was such a big kid. He was such a big kid, man, and like in his 70s, still crazy about this woman as if he got with her yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And but she took care of him though. Like, and I thought that was pretty cool that this woman, you know what I'm saying, like, loved him so much that she just made sure that wasn't drinking too much or what have you, not too loud, drawing attention to oneself, but they were still all over one another. And like I said, I spent no more than maybe 3 hours with them, sitting out there just talking and just understanding life, asking them, what is the secret to a lasting relationship? And for them, they said it was just communication. From what I remember, they definitely said it was communication. So I think it's dope to see that type of, like, love. You know what I'm saying? Like, one wasn't tearing the other down. You know what I'm saying? It was genuine love shown for one another. It's like seeing a love story. Literally seeing one of those couples that were together for the longest. Literally like watching whatever romantic drama movie where they've been together since they were kids, grew up, had kids, grandchildren, and they're still crazy about one another. I thought that was pretty cool to see. Also, you know what I'm saying, I'll say another couple that I've seen, a friend of mine. Her parents, same. Like, I'm not gonna say it's like the same thing. It's just their own version of it. But you can feel it. You can just feel like that partnership connection between, like I said, between the two, finishing each other's sentences, traveling the world together. Just doing everything together. Just literally like that life partnership. You know what I mean? And like to feel that energy from these individuals, and it's like the kids can only benefit from that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, to see that, be it grandkids, be it their kids, whatever. But to see that energy transferred between two people, and it's not to say that everything has always been fucking roses and rainbows. But to know that despite the setbacks, the downfalls, the challenging moments, still feeling like still feeling nuts about this person, and I respect that. I respect seeing that type of love. It definitely gives hope for anybody that's attempting to have the same thing, who maybe not even seen that growing up. You know what I mean? Like, that type of love. It's just a different form, and understanding and learning different forms of love. It comes with asking questions. Like, I love to when I do recognize like that type of energy, just asking questions. So like, how did you know? How did you know this was the person for you to do this with? And you never know what you may hear from the people that you ask. But it's like I said, it's a beautiful thing. So those two, like I say, I would say those two relationships that I've seen and talked about was probably be the best example that I've seen of a relationship, of a marriage relationship, love, whatever you want to call it. Those two would probably be the ones.